Hi, beautiful friends, and welcome to day 3, 7 days of self-acceptance. If you've watched the first 2 videos, I'd love to hear how you felt about them. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comments below. Now, for day 3, today, I'm going to introduce you to just a little simple awareness process. So, we're going to be easing through this process. And so this is an exercise today. And in the last few days, we're going to be getting into some more of the juicier kind of self-regulation, the nervous system, stress, anxiety stuff that you might encounter when you do start wanting to deepen into self-acceptance. So it's all very well to create an awareness around, what am I saying to myself, or what am I stopping myself from doing? So we might already have an awareness of that, which we've done in the last couple of days. But for many of us, especially when we've had these patterns formed through various life experiences that may be causing us to hold limiting self-beliefs and things like that, these are deep triggers that are held in our nervous system. And so this is going to be a pretty, just a pretty gentle process. We're not going to go into deep soul healing in this series, these 7 days. But it's important to let yourself have an awareness of what you might be able to do to start taking steps towards that, So we're not just focusing on the awareness, and I'm not going to leave you sitting in the problem. I'm going to share with you some ways that we can look at feeling safer in that self-acceptance and allowing ourselves to be who we really are in the world, because the world needs you. You're amazing. You are unique. And in fact, that's one of the greatest causes of self-rejection is our uniqueness, because nobody, the world. So your unique gifts are yours to cultivate and to flourish and to share. But because they're unique, nobody's going to be able to tell you what to do with them or how to do it. And yes, there are people who can guide or coach or support you in discovering that. That's part of what I do for my clients. But one of the reasons we'll often reject ourselves is because there's no model for who you really are in the world. And yes, it doesn't mean that you're a wild, loose cannon or anything like that, which is totally fine if you are. But it's good to have the awareness that just because something doesn't feel comfortable, because it doesn't feel normal, doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. And it's up to each of us as unique souls to allow the compassionate exploration of what lies beneath the discomfort of who we really are, and that loving acceptance of self. So the exercise for today, it's a simple one, and it's a journaling one. So across a piece of paper, I want you to divide it into 4 columns. And at the top of those columns, I want you to write, I should, I shouldn't. I should be more, I should be less. And just sit with each of those columns. So I should, I shouldn't, I should be more, I should be less. And one of the most disempowering pieces of language that almost everyone, I guarantee you, uses is the should. And there are different variations on should, but should takes our power away, because on the one hand, if I should do this and you do it, you've only done it, not you've only, but you've done it because it's something that you should do. And it's like when should kind of is a power outside of yourself. Whereas, and on the flip side, if there's something that you should do and you don't do it, then you're disempowered because you failed at something that you should do. I hope that makes sense. It's a bit convoluted. So take these 4 columns, and I invite you to just create a gentle space for yourself. And what comes up for you, when you sit and then you invite, perhaps you directly connect with the voice of the inner critic if you have an understanding of that. But you might reflect on, over during the day, during any given day? What are the common things that come up? And often this won't spring to mind. Maybe you want to spend the next 24 hours just being hyper aware of the use of the word should, both mentally and in conversation. And then allow yourself to just notice, because this will be a really good guidepost as to where perhaps you can liberate yourself, where perhaps you can be more accepting, and where perhaps you can take some power back from where you're giving it away to what you should be doing versus perhaps what you will do, and what is truly empowering, what truly contributes to your authentic self. And as a side note, yes, of course, we should pick up the kids from school. Yes, of course, we should cook dinner, all of those sorts of things. But we can also shift the languaging around that. We can say, I am going to, or I choose to. And so by adding the element of choice, we add the texture of personal power or empowerment over it, instead of taking our power away because it's just something that we should be doing. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So I'd love to hear how you go with this exercise. If anything profound comes up for you, please feel free to share. Yeah, and again, just notice this, because when awareness is like 95% of the transformational journey, because if we're not aware of something, we have no power over it. And so this is coming back to the personal power piece. With the work that I do with my mentoring clients is about empowering them to live in alignment with their own truth and their own authenticity and their own personal power. So, and it's beautiful, the more of us that wake up to this, the more beautiful the world becomes. So day 3, thank you for being with me. Let's get over the shoulds. So I hope I see you for day 4 tomorrow, and much love and blessings.